action on Big TV. Listen, if you have not hit that like and subscribe button, go ahead and do it right now. Alright, before me tell you about yourself. I'm not really that aggressive in life. Once y'all get to meet me. Also, don't forget, we are at 550 plus subscribers, which means we are halfway to the point where I'm going to give 3 of you guys $100. You know, pay for a new phone, pay your phone bill, pay some food, you know, take somebody out on a date, put some gas in your car, pay your car note, pay half of your rent, pay some of your rent, something. Alright, let's get into Be Amazed. Things that you will see for the first time, like my face, if you have not hit that subscribe button, and if you're new.
They say it takes both sides to build a bridge. But have you ever seen anything quite like this?
Sorry, I don't mean to curse.
If you want to find out exactly what on earth is going on in that clip, as well as seeing a whole load of other amazing stuff, then strap yourself in for another episode of Things You Will See for the First Time in Your Life. I think we've all seen enough ugly kids to know that the statement, "all babies are beautiful," is nothing but pure lies. But I wonder if you can guess exactly what common creatures these freaky-looking spawns grow up to be. These little guys are actually baby hedgehogs, known as hoglets. In their first few days of life, baby hedgehogs look kind of like swollen, hairy tongues with legs, and it's an interesting mixture of adorable and bizarre. While these spiky cuties may seem like the perfect pet, owning hedgehogs is actually illegal in some areas of the United States. The state of California, as well as the city of New York and Washington, D.C., class hedgies as wild animals, meaning they are not allowed to be kept domestically. Talk about prickly. The sky is pretty amazing when you think about it. Home to clouds, birds, and floating heads. While that may look like something straight out of a Japanese monster movie, this footage actually shows a giant hot air balloon looming over Tokyo City's Yoyogi Park. This peeping Tom turned out to be an art piece called Masayume, which was part of an exhibition designed to display different random faces above the city. Masayume actually means a dream come true when translated from Japanese, which is fitting considering that the idea for this project came from a dream the artist Haruka Kojin had.
I'm trying to put my face in the sky of somebody's daughter's legs.
More than 65 feet tall, this balloon portrait was based on a real anonymous citizen of the city. I just hope they weren't self-conscious. I mean, most people can barely stand their own profile picture, let alone a giant balloon of their own face. It's safe to say these floating heads definitely attracted the attention they demanded. Although I can't be the only one still waiting for the inevitable cry of, "Show me what you got." Thankfully, things turned out a little less chaotic for Tokyo on this occasion than if there'd been a real giant head invasion from outer space. From one overhead attention seeker to another now, in the sporting world, there's no greater nemesis than old Mother Nature herself, and bad weather can really make or break a good game. Take, for example, a classic all-American game of baseball. For spectators, the sound of a sharp crack as the bat comes into contact with an oncoming ball is commonplace. But if that sound is repeatedly overshadowed by the crack of thunder, like in this next clip, spectators would be forgiven for feeling a little on edge. That's right. Unsuspecting spectators at Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts were struck with wonder, and probably terror, when they noticed multiple bolts of lightning crackling through the sky directly above the field. Slowed right down for our viewing pleasure, you can see every little detail of each bolt as it cracks through the sky. Turns out this lightning storm was so severe, the game was delayed for around 2 hours while the heavens took center stage. Thankfully for the Boston Red Sox, this light show wasn't the bad omen it could have been, and they ended up beating the Kansas City Royals 6-2.
Damn.
Quite the storming success. Leaving that storm to rage on, you'd think that once the sun comes out, everything should be back to normal, right? Well, not always, as this next clip.
If you lived in Florida, you know that shit don't matter. The sun could come out and it'll still be lightning and thunder. I ain't lying to you.
Shows.
Crap.
Okay, this is Vancouver, BC. I left this pan the whole morning. Let's see if we can fry an egg.
You see it turning wet on the edge.
That's right. There's no stove in sight underneath this skillet. This egg was cooked to perfection using just the heat from the sun. On June 28, 2021, the city of Vancouver, Canada, was blasted by a record-breaking heat wave that reached 89 degrees Fahrenheit. And while most of us might jump at the chance to lounge by a swimming pool or simply chuck a bucket of ice over our heads, British Columbia resident Arturo Mendez instead decided to leave a frying pan out in his front yard all morning to absorb the heat. That's certainly one way to save on the gas bill. Having grown up in the desert in Sonora, Mexico, Arturo never expected to experience this kind of heat up in Canada, but the proof of this unusual heat is in the sizzle.
Let's see if we can fry an egg.
So, if you're ever invited to Arturo's for breakfast, you should know the only thing he'll be serving is eggs. Sunny side up, of course. Unconventional cooking techniques are one thing, but have you ever stopped to wonder how some food is really made? There are thousands of types of fantastical looking sweet treats out there in all colors of the rainbow. And while Willy Wonka may be happy to indulge in a bit of Oompa Loompa exploitation, in reality, candy makers are in the business of getting their own hands dirty. And it's super satisfying to watch. If you're trying to chew over exactly what it was these guys were making, this is the process of making hard rock candy. The production of these sweet sticks hasn't changed at all over the last century, and it's still made today in a traditional way by craftsmen known as sugar boilers. The candy is made by mixing sugar, syrup, and water, which is heated to a spicy 300 degrees Fahrenheit. After the sugar mixture reaches the correct temperature, it is then tipped out onto a table with cold water under its surface, which helps to cool down the mixture slightly for handling. But the sugar boiler must act fast before the mixture starts to solidify. The edges of the mixture cool first, but the middle can still be a scorching 250 degrees Fahrenheit, so great care must be taken to avoid burns. Some of the mixture is then taken to a machine to be aerated and flavored. This process turns the clear toffee mixture into a soft, white substance that forms the center of the rock candy. The sugar boiler then wraps the mixture up in another layer of dyed toffee, creating an enormous mound of rock candy that gets stretched into the much skinnier sticks, which harden into the final product we see in stores. Pretty sweet, huh? Well, if it's sweet you want, wait till you see the antics the pair of playmates in this next clip get up to.
Come on, Allergy.
Not the owner sounding like a horse. Yeah. Frying me right now.
Do it again. Come on, Alex, go a little further. Come on. Oh, please balance, please. Oh, you almost had it.
Meet Alex and Junior, a pair of curious goats who live at Tammy Tunnison's hobby farm in Oberlin, Ohio, who stumbled across a seesaw in their backyard and had a little turn. While this wild ride proved a little too much for Junior, Alex was keen to remain and figure out how to rock himself back and forth on the wobbly plank. All this goating around also proved too much for the pair's owner, Tammy Tunnison, who can be heard wheezing in fits of laughter behind the camera as she looks on at the scene.
Come on, Alex. You do it.
I'm not sure what's funnier, Alex and Junior's antics or Tammy's infectious belly laughs. We've all had those embarrassing moments that just make you want the ground to swallow you up. But what if I told you that being devoured by what's beneath your feet is a very real danger that could happen at any moment? This is a gigantic sinkhole which appeared suddenly on farmlands in Puebla, Mexico in June 2021. Measuring in at around 16 feet in diameter at first, the sinkhole grew to a horrifying 196 feet in diameter in just a couple of hours. Colossal nightmare craters like this occur when the ground can no longer support the land surface above it, usually due to the erosion of below-ground rock by groundwater. The cause of this particular sinkhole was a combination of the softening of the farm fields as well as the extraction of groundwater, which is all a part of farming processes that take place when areas of farmland are being cultivated. Now, though, I'm going to throw a guess out there and say this portion of land is probably not going to make for the best grain growing. But hey, maybe the farm can double up as a swimming park. Either way, after seeing that horrifying sight, maybe the next time you do something embarrassing in public, you'll think twice about wishing for the ground to swallow you whole. We all know that a magician should never reveal his secrets. But unfortunately, that doesn't stop other people from stepping in to expose the magic at work. Not that I'd ever do anything like that. But the subject of this next clip had his tricks exposed in the most public way imaginable. Check it out.
Yo. No.
This Chinese magician who goes by the name Embarrassing
Embarrassing. Video done.
Me have couple, I'm a friend. A top scam, a grab card. What make you think we go sad?